I'm not going to be able to look at him without that. The eyes just
That's gonna haunt my dreams.
I love it. I'll try really hard to stay out of the sight.
Normally we crop the head like pretty tight,
Yeah.
but I feel like I can't do
You
that
can't
now.
do that now. No, you can't do it.
Just every now and then it just kind of uncrops and goes back down. Just the eye over his shoulder.
It's just the eye. It's like, and as soon as you see the eyes, you know. Oh, okay, that's Cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
full
Christ. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of The Fake Philosophers. I'm Mike. With me is...
Danny, back in the house.
Back in the house. And then joining us once again is our friend Derrick.
Hey, guys.
From Jack of all
How are ya?
nerds, Nerdbot, your whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got going on now?
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Just to adjust my lighting there.
No, you're good.
Okay.
What else you got going on these days? I feel like you're busy.
Oh man, just constantly writing. Just there's tons of review stuff. I just finished the festival season, which was a lot of fun. I got to do Sundance and South by Southwest,
Nice.
which was just I have 60 films I need to review now that are just sitting there on the back burner waiting for release dates. So yeah, man, just a ton of stuff, ton of writing. Nerd stuff. I'll be at WonderCon doing unnecessary debates.
Nice.
Which will be super fun. I'm really excited about that. So
Very
yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Cool.
All right. As we all know, and if you could tell by Derrick's background, this episode is being dedicated to the one and only Nicolas Cage in honor of the release of his new movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is hopefully the cagiest of Nick Cage movies.
I'm hoping, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of those ones that actually did premiere at South by Southwest. I unfortunately was not able to see it because it was a headliner and I was doing everything. I was doing all my screenings from home. So
okay.
They didn't allow for any of the headliners to be screened at home. You had to actually be in Austin to watch them.
Gotcha.
Which really sucked because I was really, really excited.
That was the one,
to see this one. Yeah. So yeah, this and Everything Everywhere All at Once were the two movies I couldn't wait to see. But I'm actually going to be seeing this movie on Wednesday, but ahead of its release. So
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Very nice. And jealous of that.
Yeah.
So in honor of this, we each have compiled a list of our top 5 most Nicolas Cage movies. And we're just going to go through them one by one.
I think that's that's something we have to kind of define. So there's Nicolas Cage, and then there's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Nick Cage. The image behind Derrick is Nick Cage.
That's the Nick Cage.
That's the Nick Cage.
This is Nick Cage in its greatest glory.
Yeah.
That's the heyday right
So,
there.
Yeah.
We were even talking
Yeah.
to Derrick too. We were like, okay, so he won an Oscar for, was it Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah.
And he even gets cagey in that, but I'm like, no, you won an Oscar. So that's not Nick Cage.
Yeah.
That's Nicolas Cage.
That's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
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 One would even
Well, and I
say
think-
that could be Nicolas Coppola.
There you go.
I think one of the things that's so exciting about this new movie about the unbearable weight is that it is so meta, and that's all I've ever wanted from Nick Cage. I've always wanted Nicolas Cage to just embrace Nick Cage, because for all the things that you want to say about him and all the people that talk shit about him and his career and whatever, he, no matter what, it doesn't matter how good or bad the movie is, that man is giving 110%
Yeah.
all the time, without fail, never changes. He never, ever phones it in, ever. So
Yeah.
whether that sits well with you or not, it doesn't matter. He absolutely gives every single piece of his acting prowess, whatever you think that is, to whatever role he's doing. And it is just
Good or bad.
It's just
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's what it's funny, because I was reading, I think it was on his Wikipedia page. I was just looking up his filmography, and there was something, I forgot who it was quoted for, but the reason why he kind of dropped out and started doing a lot of those kind of indie, independent direct-to-video movies, because he felt that mainstream Hollywood was holding him back. That he felt like the acting style, it was too restrictive, so he wanted to go do his own thing. And I was like, Face Off was restrictive?
What?
We'll get into
What?
it.
No, just John Woo's a fucking nut
Yeah,
bar.
so I absolutely love it. To speak to Derrick's point, is that all these performances to him were too restrictive. He felt restricted by Hollywood, and I was like, okay,
I love it.
respect
I love it.
this
It's so
man.
good.
All right, so let's get into it.
All right.
Danny, you want to share your number 5?
Yeah, so coming in at number 5, it's not so much like a Cagey, because he doesn't really get Nick Cagey in this. It's just a weird role for him to do, and it was The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay.
Which, if you did not know this, is a Disney movie. So it's like, you wrote this movie and you said, hey, I have a wizard that I want an actor to play, who's a very serious guy, knows his magic, and takes on an apprentice who's this big deal. I want Nick Cage.
Yes.
Why? Like, why? So like I said, he doesn't get cagey, but it's just a weird role, and I liked it. I liked the movie a lot. It was a lot of fun, but I don't know why they decided to go with Nicolas Cage as
Just one of those question marks.
yeah.
It's kind of like when you see the photo of him, the test photo of him being Superman.
Yeah.
You're kind of like,
Why?
Who thought of this?
Who thought of this?
I want you to know I want that so bad.
I do
want
too.
that
So do
to
I.
be
I do too.
Revitalized, and I want whatever it was that they were gonna do. I want it so bad, like my soul yearns for Nick Cage as Superman.
Well, what's his
I
name
want
is
it
out,
so
right?
bad.
Henry Cavill is out. as
No,
Superman?
he's not out.
Oh, I thought he was out.
He's very much still the DC universe.
Well, he should
Superman.
be.
Yeah, he should
now. All right, Derek, you're number 5.
Yeah, so my number 5, and I want to be very clear. So I only chose movies where Nick Cage goes full Nick Cage. So
Sure.
For my assignment, I eliminated all, because there are tons of great performances that Nick Cage delivers that I think are just absolutely fantastic. And even the movies kind of lend themselves to being Nick Cage movies. So a great example would be something like National Treasure. We all equate Nicolas Cage with National Treasure. But for me, he's pretty subdued in that one. Like, he's not full on Nick Cage the way that we think of Nick Cage. So while I wanted to include that on my list, it's a great movie and it's absolutely a staple of his filmography. It's not as cagey as some of these other ones that I picked. So
Sure.
I went pretty obscure, and I went with ones that are much newer, because I do feel like in the last, Mike and I were talking about this a little bit last night, and I feel like as he started to embrace that Nick Cage role that he's kind of delved into, everything that he's done before, sure, you can see staples of that, but it's really not until he finishes his 90s run that he's just like, no, I am Nick Cage, and just goes full on nutcase. And I love that. I absolutely love that. So
Sure.
most of these are going to be relatively recent. So my number 5, I'm going with Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. This movie is already bizarre. It's just like one of the most bizarre Japanese directors paired with like Nick Cage, and they just were like, do something. It's just, it's a little bit more style over substance. But guys, this is a movie where Nick Cage has a literal bomb strapped to his testicles throughout almost the entire movie. Like, you cannot get more Nick Cagey than this. And there's even a line where he gets captured by the people in the Ghostland, and he starts having his Nick Cage freak out, and he literally goes into a karate stance and tells them to back up or he's going to give them the high fucking yeah in full on. That is an actual quote, by the way.
I've seen the trailer for this. I wanted to see it.
I was like, and the only problem is he doesn't do it all the way through. And so it's really unfortunate, because the movie kind of starts to hold him back a little bit. But man, when he goes Nick Cage, I will never get over this image of him looking at a bunch of people and screaming high fucking yeah in a karate stance. Like, that is like peak Nick Cage for me. So yeah.
I've wanted to see that one for a while now. I never got around to it.
I wanted to say, like, the title is so misleading, because that is a fucking dope ass title.
The title would make you think it's something serious.
Like,
I know.
Prisoners of the Ghostland. Like,
it
fuck.
is a weird movie. And honestly, I don't even know that I could tell you what it's actually about.
Because you don't know.
It is fucking.
You were
out
just
there, man.
so
It is a
enraptured
weird
by the
movie.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bizarre movie, but yeah.
I have to check that one out. All right, my number 5. So I kind of like this because I kind of had the breakdown of yours that you gave me last night, Danny's, and my own, and they're all kind of touching on different aspects of the Cage. So I like that. My number 5, and this is kind of an obscure reference, is Amos and Andrew. Do you know that one, Derek?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of obscure. I was telling Danny about it. So to those at home who haven't seen it, which is probably most of you, the movie's about Andrew, who's played by Samuel L. Jackson, who, real quick, I would love to see these two together now. Now that Sam...
Oh, yeah. Give me an Amos and Andrew sequel, part 2.
Because Samuel...
Give it to me.
I feel like Samuel L. Jackson has also embraced the Sam Jackson.
Oh, absolutely.
So with the two embracing their crazies, I'd love to see it. Anyway, Amos and Andrew's about Sam Jackson, who's a black playwright, if I recall, and he moves into this like affluent, white, rich neighborhood. And it's kind of like the Dave Chappelle bit about a black man being in his own home, and they call the police on him. So they call the police. The neighbors call the police on him, thinking a black man's breaking in their neighbor's house. The police come up. There's like a little bit of shooting, and they realize who he is. So they get a thief that's in the jail, Nick Cage, to break in to pretend that he's the one that they called the police on. And it's just fucking bizarre from there, and it's really weird and funny. And I think the first hints of Nick Cagey were in here because the guy he plays, Amos, is kind of nuts, and like he's pretending to rob the guy, and he doesn't want to be there, and then he orders pizza at the neighbor's house. Like, it's just bizarre. And I just thought, I was like, I think that was the seed planted of the Nick Cagey. And so that's my number 5.
The Cage seed.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's a really good pick.
Do we want to snake style this, or so then I'll just go to my number 4?
Yeah.
And go back?
We'll
All right.
work back, yeah.
So my number 4, again, kind of going to the classics. Derek's hitting all the new shit. I'm hitting the classics. Gone in 60 Seconds. It's okay. Yeah, it's not full blown cagey, but there's the moments where he's just, I'm a little tired, I'm a little wired.
So you take 25 away from 200, and we call it a deal.
But in reality, like you're talking to this crime lord, like you don't talk to him like that.
You don't talk to
but
him
it's
like
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And not to mention,
it definitely I think that's when you start to see the signs of like, oh, this is who he truly is. You kind of see it seep through and Gone in 60 Seconds, where you're like, oh, you're on the cusp of breaking through into something. I don't know what it is, but I
there's
see
something here. There's the hints.
Yeah.
If Amos and Andrew's the seed, I feel like Gone in 60 is one of the sprouts.
It's the sprout, yeah.
Where you start to see what flower you're gonna get.
Yeah.
All right, Derek,
solid.
you're 4.
Okay, so this is going to be a very, very random one, and probably none of you guys have never, ever heard of this movie, and I will never recommend it to anybody because it's absolute dog shit.
But
it has like a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. They did it last year when I was doing my 10% or less. Absolutely deserves it. It's horrible. But it's a movie called Arsenal. And it stars... Oh, God, I don't even remember.
I'm looking it up right now.
It honestly doesn't even matter.
John Cusack, Adrian Grenier.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
There
Oh,
you go.
God.
There you go. Yeah, and what's crazy is that's actually a sequel to another movie called Deadfall. And basically Nick Cage plays the same person in both movies. They tell two different stories, but they're supposed to take place in the same world. So he plays this gangster named Eddie, and it has some of the worst hair and makeup I've ever seen in my entire life on Nick Cage. He's got this just grotesque, very obvious fake nose that like sticks out. Like you can just tell it's just silly putty on top of his nose. Like it's so bad. And he's got this like typical like gangster mustache, and he wears like these giant ugly like mafios but like Walmart type style suit jackets, and it is so Nick Cagey that you're almost better off just watching the clips of it. There's one point where he's got to like kill his brother, and he like writes this fake note about his death, but it's like a eulogy to his brother, and he starts screaming, and just the Nick Cage level that this goes to, I don't think I've ever seen it in another movie. Like it is so unbelievably out of control, Nick Cage.
Like someone should have pulled him back.
That's the only good thing about it. What's up?
I said almost to the point where like someone should have pulled him back a little bit.
Oh, for sure. It's we talk about dial up to 11. This is pushing like 14, 15.
Damn.
And you'll never get over the nose. Once you see the fake nose, you're just like,
you know what? I haven't seen it, but I feel like I've seen a photo of that. I feel like I've seen Nick Cage with that on him. So I haven't seen it, but I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about.
It is bad, and it never gets better. Like, when you see those, right? You see a still on the internet, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll just wait for like the editing and the digital effects and the gloss, like everything that goes into making a movie. I'll just wait for all of that to like fix this in post. No, they don't. They don't do anything to it. So however bad you think it is worse, and it never gets.
You're
better.
getting what you're getting. Yeah.
It was a $20,000 budget.
Yeah.
And 19,000 of that went to Nicolas Cage.
But again, Nick Cage gives it his all. There's no reason for him to. This movie does not deserve it, and he just, whoo, boy, does he go full Nick.
God, like
At least you respect it when he shows up.
But
He shows up.
like I'm starting to think like Cusack's going down that drain now. Adrian, was it Grenier?
Grenier, yeah.
Grenier. Like he was famous. Like he had a show on HBO.
Yeah.
And like now his career's in the crapper, and Cusack's.
And I like Nick Cage survived though.
yeah, the one person to come out of this,
Out of Arsenal.
alive, is Nick Cage, and it's for no other fact that he just went full Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, Danny, what's your 4?
4 is going to be The Rock. I want to say that like the seed that was planted also kind of sprouted up here.
Well, I remember I was reading, they kind of said, I think it was, we talked about it still, but I think it was Face Off, The Rock, and Gone in 60, or Con Air. There was
Con Air.
three
Face
movies,
Off, The Rock, and Con Air.
Three movies that they say is like the Nick Cage trilogy of Nick Cage.
It's the Trinity. It's the Cage Trinity.
If you ever want to talk about the birth of Nick Cage as we know him, it's that run for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
The Face Off, Con Air, Gone in
That was the
60
puberty
Seconds,
of
The
Nick
Rock,
Cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like when when he like stabs himself in the heart with the needle, the green flares at the end.
I gotta say, I 100% love the fucking Rock.
Oh no,
that
it's
movie,
great.
like
it's so good.
I try to avoid the overlap with us because I had that on my list, and then you said like I want to do The Rock, and I was like fuck. But no, I absolutely 100% love that movie.
Yeah,
especially like when the guy's like, "Have you ever been in a combat situation?"
Could you define combat?
Define that, and he's like, "Blah blah blah," and he's like, "On that fact, no sir." Yeah.
What? A second ago you wanted a gun. Now you're getting a gun and a wetsuit.
And to see him interact with
Sean Connery. Their dynamic in that movie is fantastic.
It's a great pairing. And
when
The Rock of all of those ones, I would actually say Face Off and The Rock are my 2 favorite.
Yeah.
Out of those, like that 4 to 5 movie stint, I think The Rock and Face Off are easily my 2 favorite. I was just rewatching Con Air, and I love Con Air. Don't get me wrong.
Well, we'll get to that one. We'll get to
Con Air. You don't talk about Nick Cage and don't bring up Con Air.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, if I had to pick, I mean, The Rock is just oh god. And what is not to get too sidetracked, man, but what is Ed Harris doing there? Just like giving an Oscar-worthy performance in a non-Oscar movie,
in a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
You know what?
Man? Like,
so you are absolutely right. So I hate because like I trash Michael Bay all the time, even though he's not a bad director. I just love to trash him. But like that movie, like you just hit it on the head. Like hits on so many serious notes. Like you like the action, but then like when you listen to Ed Harris and what he's actually saying about how like the soldiers aren't treated right, like he's tired of this shit. I was kind of like, this kind of hits deep if you're actually listening.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That 100% Oscar-worthy performance in a non-Oscar movie.
Yeah, just giving it his all.
But I want to say, like,
bro, it's a Michael Bay movie. What are you doing?
Gonna get blown up.
I want to say, like, kind of everybody kind of just threw everything they had into this movie. Like, Sean Connery delivers.
Oh yeah.
Cage delivers. Like even Bokeem Woodbine delivered in this movie.
Yeah. Freaking Tony Todd's in this
Tony
movie.
Todd,
Michael
yeah.
Biehn, like there is not a single nameless face in this entire cast of this movie.
It really is like Michael Bay has his gems, and maybe it's the cast, but like that movie's actually super good.
Well, this kind of set up Michael Bay's hallmarks. This movie, like the flying under the bridge, all that, like the explosions,
the yellow hue, the moistness of everybody.
Yes.
where everybody's moist for no reason.
No reason,
You
exactly.
know, I actually, to go off to the Michael Bay, I watched this movie this last week. I think I watched one of the Transformers movies and one other Michael Bay movie. And I know like, he has all of his tropes, but the one that stood out to me for some reason is the simple camera movement going under someone.
Yeah.
While they, like, and it just stuck out for some reason. You get like the under the bridge, the sunset, but that one just stuck the fuck out for some reason.
Yeah, no, he loves that shot.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like the mid that swings under.
Like he loves that shot so much. He designs his camera rigs specifically for that shot, or invents new rigs to do it like under like trucks and shit.
Oh,
yeah, you can guarantee they're gonna do it in ambulance. There's plenty of bridges in there. You know damn well that's coming.
Oh yes. All right, Danny, snake it back. You're number 3.
My number 3. All right, and I know you said National Treasure doesn't really have a whole lot of cagey moments. National Treasure 2 does. It has one really good Cage moment, and it's where they're in Buckingham Palace, and he needs to like get thrown in a cell, so he starts a fight, and he just goes off, like peak Nick Cage off. Like he just starts stomping around, wrong about us, wrong about me. Just goes off and like acting drunk. Hello. Oh, dude, it's so good.
I feel like when he got the sequels, he was like, okay, now I don't have to worry.
Yeah, now I don't have to
the
worry.
sequel.
Yeah, right. I cashed the check. You guys need me now.
It's kind of like they say when a president gets their second term, they don't have to worry as much.
Yeah.
They're not up for re-election.
Yeah.
So he got the sequel. He's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So you think it would end there? It's like, okay, he got his cage out of the way. No, when they get into the cell and they're trying to like snake their way back into Buckingham Palace, and he's like trying to convince the female lead, I forget her name, Diane Kruger, something like that. I don't know.
Sure.
They're like trying to get into a dumbwaiter, and he's like, "Come on, get in!" It's like that's it.
He just has to.
That's why it's on.
He
the
has
list.
to hit on some of his.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's fair.
Derek,
That's totally
number
fair.
3.
Number 3, and Mike, you might actually have this one on your list as well. But I'm going with Mom and Dad.
So
as
we
my
watched that
number 3.
last night.
So we watched that last night. We were quite drunk last night.
Oh,
So I fell asleep, not because it was bad, because we were hammered. And, but no, go on. But I was going to watch it and put it on my list, but the fact that we didn't finish it, I was like, Derek's got it.
Oh yeah. No. This one is this is one of those because I have another one on there like this too. But this is one of those ones where Nick Cage is like, I would like to find the strangest, most bizarre indie film I possibly can. I'll take a pay cut if you just let me go ape shit. Like, just let me go off.
I don't want the director in the room.
Yeah. And they were like, okay, bro, we're just gonna let the cameras roll, and here's a sledgehammer. You fucking go nuts. Like, do whatever it is you need to do. Yeah, this is Mom and Dad is uncaged Nick Cage to its fullest. Like,
Nick Uncaged.
Nick Uncaged.
Nick Uncaged. It is just. If you haven't had a chance to check this out, I highly recommend it. Because it is so bizarre and so weird and so out there, and just if you love the Nick Cage, this gives it to you in full high doses. Like, it is amazing.
Yeah. So I will say, even before we started watching it, because I do remember a lot of it, but even just several years back when this trailer came out, even if I didn't watch it, I would want it on my list just based on the trailer that Nicolas Cage is a parent who wants to kill his kids. I was like, this meets every criteria. I don't need to see the movie. The trailer's enough. Like,
it literally checks all the boxes with its synopsis. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
The one scene that stuck out that we saw last night was where he finally just like fine tunes this pool table, and then he just, for pretty much no reason, just grabs a sledgehammer and destroys the thing.
Yeah. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
That description right there is just why it's a Nick Cage movie.
And destroys it like you would imagine Nick Cage would destroy a pool table.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, okay, moving on from that one. I actually, the bit that we did see last night, I highly enjoyed. But at some point, I was like, I'm sleeping on the couch. I need to go to bed.
Yep.
That's another thing. Danny and Mike hungover. My number 3 is, and this one I was kind of on the fence on, but after I thought about it, I was like, no, this qualifies, is Wind Talkers. Was that my phone?
I think it was.
Okay, sorry. It like vibrated. I was like, what the fuck? Have you seen Wind Talkers, Derek?
I have. I haven't seen it in a long time, though. I don't think I've seen it since it came out.
Okay.
So I'm not... that one never struck me as a Nick Cage movie, but maybe I'm just not remembering it.
No, yeah.
Because I feel like, didn't it come out at a time where everybody was making a war movie?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it was like every studio was like Saving Private Ryan, Wind Talkers, When We Were Soldiers. Like, they just back to back to back to back. Like, everybody had.
No,
one.
you're 100% right. And so if you watch it, because like I think we're all fans of like war movies. We all like war movies. It almost feels like a subtle satire.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be. But because they try to hit on all those notes, like, oh, I'm jaded now, like I have the 1,000-yard stare in my eyes, like, but it's Nicolas Cage,
Who has the 1,000-yard stare anyway?
And so like, what was the scene? I forgot the exact wording, but he was like, he wanted to like he was trying to resign, because he had shell shock and he was messed up. And the guy's like, "No, you're not resigning." He's like, "I can no longer do my duty." And then like, for those people who have the visual on us right now, there was a scene, even as a kid, I was like, this is fucking obnoxious, where like he's doing his Rambo shit, and he just runs up and he has his Tommy gun and literally just starts doing this.
like a soldier would.
Yeah, like just if you're only listening, like he just does the crazy back and forth with it, and then you see the Japanese soldiers just dropping. It's like it was like a Rambo move in what was supposed to be a serious war movie, and then like it doesn't, because at first I was like, it doesn't count as a Nick Cage, like a cagey movie.
There's
those moments where it's like, wow, you're really out of your fucking mind.
There's a part where he is like they need to like infiltrate a Japanese base, and he's like, hit me, and he hits him, and he just oversells the shit out of it, and he's just ah, ah! Like it was Wicker Man without the bees.
Yeah,
nice.
No, because you're right. You don't think a serious war movie. Nah, he's not Nick Uncaged. But then, kind of like in the other ones, when there's the moments where he's like, "Here's an opportunity." Because even when like the last,
here's
scene,
my chance.
Yeah, here's the moment. Like the last scene where it's supposed to be all serious, and I forgot the guy's name that was with them, the Wind Talker.
Yeah.
He's like, just leave me here. Like, just kill me, because like he's supposed to kill him, so the code doesn't get out. Yeah. He's like, no one else is gonna die. No one's gonna die. And like picks him up and starts going through the minefield. It was like,
in actuality, lots of people did.
Oh yeah. So no, it was funny. And even like comparing it to, because Gone in 60 was my number 4. I feel like he was more cagey in Wind Talkers than he was in Gone in 60.
I think he was. Yeah. I think he actually.
But because you're right, Derek. Like you don't think of it like Wind Talkers, because nobody even remembers that movie to begin with.
I don't know why. Yeah. I liked that movie.
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't, like Derek said, it got lost in the sea of good war movies.
Yeah.
It just kind of was like, oh, it's Wind Talkers.
You got to remember, Ruffalo was in that fucking movie.
There was a lot of people in that movie.
There's a lot of people in that movie.
I feel like Ruffalo. I feel like Mark Ruffalo just forgets he's an actor. Like he just like, that guy is literally in everything, and I don't even think he knows that he's got the filmography that he does.
Yeah, I'm sure if you asked him, hey, what was it like working with Nick Cage and Wind Talkers? He was like, oh, I like that movie. I saw it. Who else was in it?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he might actually say that because you know he had a stroke.
Maybe going serious there for a moment.
Yeah.
All right, so that was my number 3, snaking it back. My number 2, we've already mentioned 100 times, Con Air. Con Air. Let's just talk about Con Air.
Down. This movie.
I'm glad you said you watched it today or yesterday. I forgot.
I did. Yeah, okay. I did. Yeah.
I watched it earlier this week because I knew we were kind of getting ready for this, and that fucking movie, man. I feel like everyone in that movie Nick Caged it up. Oh, absolutely. Everyone in that movie.
For sure.
Even when Chappelle looks like one of the better actors in it, I'm like, everyone is caging it up.
Trejo. Who else? Fucking Malkovich.
I say Malkovich.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Malkovich, Bing Rames, John Cusack.
John Cusack
goes
again.
On and on. There's so many people in there. Steve Buscemi.
Oh God, yes, Buscemi.
Just channeling his inner sociopath serial killer. It just in like one of the most haunting performances I've ever seen from Steve Buscemi. Like that man legitimately scared the shit out of me, more so than any other criminal on that plane.
Well, that's what I feel like. Everyone, kind of like you were talking about how Nick Cage, every time he's there, he's fucking there.
Yep.
I feel like everyone on that set was like that when they didn't need to be.
Yeah.
They just were matching his energy.
Danny, I think it was yesterday when Danny and I were irresponsibly drinking. We got into a debate. I was like, I think Nick Cage was so Nick Cage in that he almost went full loop and was almost not Nick Cage anymore. Because I can
see that. I can give you that.
Because his performance was not good.
Well, like because he can't do a fucking Cajun accent.
He's like the actor in Black Widow. I forgot his name. Who was trying to do the Russian accent, and so it just took him out of it.
Ray Winstone.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, bro, we can tell it's you.
It's you. I feel like kind of like there's a lot of actors like that where when they try to change their voice, it just doesn't work. And I feel like Nick Cage just needs to Nick Cage his voice.
Yeah.
So when he tried to do this Southern drawl thing, just to me, I was like, I don't believe anything you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
And then not to mention, let's talk about the movie. The premise is kind of retarded.
the premise is fucking dumb.
Absolutely, like worse than The Rock. Like it takes the concept of The Rock and just doubles down on all the implausibility.
Yeah. And I actually I really like this concept of the plane with all the convicts and the convicts figure out how to weight a jacket. I like that. But this idea that a veteran who defends his wife gets time for defending.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is the dumbest shit. These guys, there's witnesses showing these guys attacked him, but because he was a soldier and his hands are weapons, 6 years. Like, what?
Yeah, 6 years for killing a dude in self-defense.
I would have preferred a Nick Cage who did just beat the shit out of a guy.
Yeah.
No, like he's not a soldier.
Just some random guy in the street.
And so he gets time, but he's really a good guy, but he's a fucking convict.
Yeah.
And he just happens to be the good guy on the plane who fights the bad convicts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the moment, I always like the moments, because it was so absurd to me, was when Nick Cage and John Cusack, like in sync, jumped on the police spikes. Like, it was just a small moment.
Bro mode.
Yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? I think that's why John Cusack did Arsenal with him years later. It's because of that moment.
There you go.
Yeah. Do we get to ride police bikes?
I don't know why that moment just sticks out to me. I don't know. It's just... And Chappelle got done dirty.
Oh yeah, they did him.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he meets a bad end.
Oh yeah.
He meets a bad end. Yeah, I agree with you though. I almost feel like he does go kind of full circle to where he wants to be full Nick Cage, but he's like trapped by this awful Cajun accent, and then it like brings him back down to kind of a normal person. But you're still just like, yeah, I don't believe drop the accent and just be Nick. Like, just be Nick right now, man. Like,
could you imagine if they remade that now and Nick Cage was Malkovich's role?
Oh God!
My
Please.
God,
What does that be?
Please.
I don't like
Wow.
remakes, but I would support that.
Wow, I don't like them either, especially when they're completely unnecessary and no one needs it. But now I need Con Air with Nick Cage as Cyrus the Virus.
Yes.
Everything else stays exactly the same. You don't have to change a single thing. Just Nick Cage as Cyrus the Virus. That's the only change for the entire film.
You
That's
can still get Trejo to play Johnny 23.
Of course, Trejo.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Dude, anytime I see Trejo in anything,
Yeah.
I'm just like, of course you're here.
Yeah.
When he popped up in Boba Fett, I was like, of course you're here. He could literally be in any movie,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be like, of course Danny Trejo's in this movie.
Yep.
Any movie. All right, that was my number 2. Derek, back to you, number 2.
So these two. So my last two are pretty interchangeable. And again, guys, I tried to find ones that are more Nick Cage than not.
Sure.
So this, I went with Mandy as my number 2. That's going to be my number 2. Have you guys seen Mandy?
I feel like I watched it one day when I was like, I tried to watch it, but I was falling asleep. I don't think I actually. I'm gonna look.
I know what this is.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, he's like a woodsmith or something like that. He's like a construction worker of some kind. He has this beautiful wife, and this weird religious cult decides that they want his wife. So they kidnap his wife, and they want to like bring her into the cult. And she rejects them. So they basically sacrifice her. And then he goes on a rampage to kill all the people that had anything to do with his wife's death. And it is just, there is one of the most Nick Cage scenes I've ever seen in all of his filmography. It's right after he discovers that his wife has been like burned at the stake is essentially what they do.
Sure.
But he discovers it, and it's a rundown bathroom, and he's sitting there with a bottle of whiskey in tidy whities and a t-shirt, just like going from like sad broken husband to full on Nick Cage freak out, just one after the other, and he like breaks the sink, and just there is no pinnacle higher than this Nick Cage scene. Like, this is Nick Cage to its fullest, and it is just it's a masterpiece. It's an absolute masterpiece for that scene alone.
Yeah.
The movie is bizarre as shit, and I don't even know if I did a good job of explaining it, because there's a lot of weird stuff that happens in here, and it does get a little too indie, but
I do think so. When you were starting to describe it, and then I looked up like and seeing like the cover of it, I do think this is one of those ones I put on the TV late at night and then I fell asleep during it, because that sounds super familiar, and it looks very familiar. So
it's one of those it's a oh god, what are they? The Legion M.
Okay.
It's a Legion M sponsored movie.
Okay.
One of the first ones that I think they actually got made.
The cover alone is Nick Cagey.
Oh yeah.
He's sitting there with blood on his face and a chainsaw on his back.
Oh dude, there are moments in this movie that just it tops almost every single Nick Cage performance on the planet. Just that bathroom scene alone. Even
Yeah.
if you don't ever go back and watch the whole movie, just
Find that scene.
Imagine a half-naked Nick Cage just fucking losing it, and going back and forth between full-on Nick Cage freak out to sad husband that just lost his wife in tidy whities and a bottle of whiskey. Like it's it's amazing.
Working the range.
Absolutely amazing.
Working the range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's incredible. It's so incredible.
I wouldn't say it's a
Peak
range.
Nick
It's more
Cage,
like
for sure.
a switch flip.
Switch an
Yeah,
intensity.
Yeah.
Like
Fair
there's no
enough.
build up. There's not a range. It doesn't go from here to here, and there's stuff in the middle. It just flips,
Just on off.
just on off.
All right, fair enough. Mandy, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
You know,
All right, like when I'm not tired at night. Yeah,
Yeah. Or drunk.
or drunk.
or drunk.
So there's a little window there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great if you want to drop an edible. That's
Well,
that's
yes,
an edible movie for sure.
for good or for worse.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, you're number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 and my number 1 are pretty interchangeable as well. But my number 2, I went with Ghost Rider. Specifically for it's the scene right after he transforms for the first time, and he's like looking in the mirror and trying to do it again, and he just like I feel as though that's his warm up right before he starts shooting. Is he just goes in front of the mirror and just does the faces.
Just Cage face.
Yeah, just does the faces.
Yeah.
And just it's just so weird, man.
That's in the bees, right? I thought that was
No, that's Wicker Man, and we'll get there.
okay. Oh, I'm getting them fucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like just like the
Oh,
choices.
Ghost Rider. I'm looking at my list here. I got fucked up. Sorry. I'm over here. I'll be quiet.
But like some of the character choices he makes in that movie, like the martini glass full of like Jelly Bellies.
Who was his I always forget the name of his mentor in that. The actor's name.
Oh, it's fuck. I want to say Wade Garrett, but it's
Well, close enough.
Sam
Elliott.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's one of those actors, kind of like we talked about The Rock, that across Sam Elliott, who's very cold and collective.
Mm-hmm.
So a Nick Cage contrasting with him works out very well.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Sam Elliott plays the same character in everything he's in.
Yes.
But he does it so well that I can't complain about it.
Yeah, of course.
But like as when you see him in the movie, and it's like, of course you're this
Yeah.
character.
Right. Of course you're that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good pick though, man. I almost considered that. But yeah, he is so Nick Cage in Ghost Rider that he kind of just ceases to be Ghost Rider, and he's basically just Nick Cage.
Nick Cage on a motorcycle.
It's who he's supposed to be. A guy on fire riding a motorcycle. Guilty.
Yeah.
It's who he was born to be.
I'm sure he's actually done this in real life, where he's just walked around in a leather jacket, pointed at people, and just be like, "Guilty." In the voice, and
I
everything.
believe it.
Yeah,
I'd believe it.
He has to. Like,
And he probably transformed too.
Yeah, just lights his hair on fire.
Yeah. Gives the face-off face.
Mm-hmm. All right, and so yeah, my number 1 is Wicker Man. Because what the fuck is that movie?
The bees, man.
The bees,
Can't
not the
fight
bees. Ah!
That's so. I'll be completely honest. I have seen that movie multiple times, and I think it's just one of those things. My brain checks out. I don't know, because I'm like, I can't tell you what that movie's about.
Same, dude.
So
I'm the same way. I've probably seen it 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And I honestly couldn't tell you what it's about or what happens in the movie. I really couldn't.
That
I
movie
really couldn't.
is an amalgamation of every Nick Cage movie that he has ever made.
That's what The Wicker Man is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It's Mandy. In that there is a cult of women that live on an island. They come to the mainland to seduce men to get them pregnant, and they go back and have the babies.
Okay.
Cage finds this
Kinda
out,
remember that.
and he wants to meet his child. But the women shun him, so he like tries to like sneak in, ends up knocking out, just straight up decking a chick dressed as a bear.
I do remember that. I think I remember that.
I do remember this, yeah.
And because he's violated the sanctity of their home, they essentially torture him by locking his head in a cage with bees.
I remember that. Yes.
Digital bees. So like when he's selling that, he is overselling it because he had nothing to go off of. He's just like, not the bees! Ah! And then they put him in a giant kind of what's it called? I fucking forgot. But like a giant like Wicker Man like statue effigy type thing, and then they light it on fire, and that's the end of the movie.
Well, if you haven't seen it, spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
I do remember moments that you described.
Yeah,
But-
that's a good number one pick, man.
Yeah,
honestly, like that is pure through and through Nick Cage without a doubt. Yeah, absolutely.
If you want an
Solid.
hour and a half of Nick Cage.
Yeah, an hour and a half
Yeah.
of Nick Cage just doing weird shit, like punching
Yeah.
chicks in bear costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Great.
solid.
Derek, you're number one.
My number one, guys, I am gonna go with Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is just first of all, I love this movie. This is one of those ones
Yes.
on the list where I'm just like, this is a fantastic movie from start to finish. Like everything about this movie is amazing.
Agreed.
And everyone in it is great. But to me, there is nothing more Nick Cage than Nick Cage trying to be Adam West in Kick-Ass. Like that is just like
never thought about
you
that, yeah.
cannot come up with a better combination of just Nick uncaged than this. Like it is so good. And I love that this was a conscious choice by him. He decided that he was going to talk like that. And the sound editor actually came up to him and was like, you can't do that. I can't edit this. Like your inflections are too all over the place. Like I can't do it. And he was like, well, no, this is what I'm going to do. And Bond was like, okay, man, just make it work. And he made the sound guy deal with this weird up and down constant, but it is just when he loses it, he absolutely loses it. When he's the calm, cool, collected Nick Cage, he's still Nick Cage. Like everything about this performance just absolutely works for me. It's so tragic. It's such a horrible, sad scene, but like one of my favorite scenes is when Hit Girl shows up to like rescue them, and he's just like getting lit on fire, and he's just caging out, screaming out all of these like different tricks and things that she needs to do, and it is so Nick Cage. I love it so much, and this one, it has to be my number one. If we're only going with like full on Nick Cage from start to finish, every time you see him, this is absolutely that one for me.
No, I think you're right. And I got to say, like, even the moments with, like, the sweet moments, the dad moments with the girl where he's like, all right, honey, it's only going to hurt for a moment.
It's so good. So good.
So I remember, I want to say it was like a year or two before the movie came out, they opened up the trailer with this scene of him shooting his daughter in the chest.
Yeah.
And I was just like, of course Nick Cage would do this in a movie. And I was just
Fun fact, that scene was actually uncredited guest directed by Quentin Tarantino.
I can see it. Of course.
Makes
of course.
sense.
Yep.
No, like that, I actually, because the scene you were talking about when he's on fire, I think we had talked about that briefly too, and you're absolutely right. That's 100%, 150% Nick Cage. But I loved the sweet Nick Cage dad moments where he's like, what do you want for your birthday? And she's like, oh, flowers or ponies. Or she says, he's like, oh, and she's like, I'm just kidding. I want this pistol and this knife. He's like, oh, that's my girl. Giving it to your old man. Like,
you always send me for a loop. It's so good. It's so good. Everything about it. It's so good. I love it.
The sweet Nick Cage dad moments where he's like teaching his daughter how to kill people. Like, wasn't it when she's like going ape shit in that gangster's house, and then Nick Cage snipes him, and he's like, "You got to watch your back, sweetheart," or whatever he says. It's like, oh, jeez,
so good.
It's
So
only
good. I
going
love
to
it so
feel
much.
like getting punched in the chest, and then we'll get ice cream afterwards. I
hate getting punched in the chest.
No, I think that because it's one of those. He's not even like the lead role in it, but it's still such a good Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just those two in particular, like Chloe Moretz and Nick Cage, they just hijack every single part of that movie, and that movie's already good. Like I love Aaron Johnson. I think where am I blanking on his name? The kid that plays
The other Quicksilver.
McLovin.
McLovin. Yeah, sure. We'll just call him McLovin. That's who he is.
It's like the other Quicksilver.
Yeah, the other Quicksilver. But yeah, those guys, everybody in this movie is great. Like they're all really, really good. It's very funny and it's really good. But man, they're like, to me, those two together especially, they are the Heath Ledger of The Dark Knight. Like you just can't wait for those two to come back, and they're so good that everything else is just kind of like, yeah, okay, just bring them back. Like, bring them back on screen.
No,
I'm missing them already.
They steal the scenes every time they're on. Every time.
Yeah.
And I still love, it's not a Nick Cage thing, but with Chloe Moretz, in an interview, she was talking about her character, and she's like, yeah, I had to like promise my parents that like the language I use in the script, I wouldn't use in real life. So we had to have a talk. Like, I'm not going to start saying cunt.
She was like 12? 11 or 12 when
At
she did this
most, yeah.
movie?
I think she was like 13, but even still,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
your first line in the movie is "Okay, you cunts, let's see what you can do," I think there definitely has to be a discussion.
Oh, yeah, but I love that. Like, I guess she had to promise her parents, like, none of this language she could use. She can't start calling them cunts. So it's like, it's great. No, that's a great number one pick. I was looking at that too, and I was like, I wonder if I had Kick-Ass on my list where I put it, and it had to be high. It had to be high.
Yeah.
All right, so my number one, which I think we all know is coming over Derrick's shoulder, Face Off. Now, I am already biased for Face Off because forget Nick Cage, that's in my top 10, if not top 5 favorite movies of all time. Anyway,
It's so good.
it was like the first rated R movie that I snuck into when I was like in
Nice.
4th grade. So I already have that bias. I still have a crush on Gina Gershon.
Oh, of course.
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
and so there's already all of that. Forgetting Nick Cage, there's already all this with me being biased on it. And then you actually get into it, and like I was reading about it, the performances by him and John Travolta are actually really good.
Yeah, you got to imagine, like, they had to spend so much time together to get each other's, like, voice and mannerisms.
And I remember early on there was an interview, I think it was with John Travolta, where I think it was like when HBO, before it was HBO, it is now, it was just like one channel of HBO.
Yeah.
They had like a 30-minute thing where they were kind of montaging interviews and talking to him. And John Travolta kept saying, like, Nick Cage has the coolest bad guy walk. And they cut to him with, like, the trench coat as he's, like, in slow motion. He's like, and I had to fucking figure out how to do that. and so it was just, the performances themselves are really good. Like, it's highly praised for their acting. But it's still Nick Cage and Nick Cajun. But it's
What's
awesome.
even incredible, what's crazy about that though is not only is it Nick Cage, Nick Caging, but you have John Travolta, Nick Caging.
Travolta, who's already prone.
Ready for the
that is
big
so
ride,
much Nick
baby.
Cage. It's so much. You get two
Yeah.
for the price of one. It's amazing.
Because Travolta's already prone to doing his own John Travoltaing.
Yeah.
So now
Oh,
he's
yeah,
Nick
for sure.
Caging.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And he does it so good. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He just every time John Travolta is on screen, you're just like, yeah, no, that's Nick Cage. Like you absolutely believe that it's him.
You know what? And you hit on something. I forgot there was a term for it that I heard, but there's no, like, I'm trying to think of the right words. There's no, like, you're questioning it. Like, oh, that's not Castor Troy. That's not Sean Archer.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
you believe it immediately.
Yeah.
That these guys are each other. And
Yeah. And they sell one of the most ridiculous premises in all of television, like in all of film. Like there is no logical way no scientific mumbo jumbo makes this movie make sense in any way.
No, it's retarded.
And these two come out and they're like, no. We're selling this shit to where you don't even care that it doesn't make sense. You are on board the minute those faces switch.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
And I remember at one point, I think it was like for Jack of All Nerds, you guys were doing quick countdowns. Like, oh, if I did a countdown, okay, top 10 coolest bad guys. Castor Troy, number 1, all day.
But which Castor Troy? Is it Travolta's?
No, Castor Troy, the guy,
just
like
the-
Castor
the-
Troy.
okay.
Because Castor Troy is like the most quotable fucking guy, in my opinion. The peaches, the behind Derrick there, just grabbing the church singer's ass, like
We're gonna burrow up LA, bro.
making it cool. No, like that entire. Because I remember one time, I always brag about this movie. My sister tried to watch it, and she was like, "I felt like this movie needed to end. Like I always thought it was gonna end, and it didn't. And I thought it was gonna end, and it didn't. I was like, yeah, because you never want it to." Like
John Woo's got to get his dubs in, man.
Yep.
He's got to get those dubs and boats.
But
Gotta have them both.
I really think there's not one bit of fat in that movie too. Like every scene is needed.
Yeah.
Every scene is necessary.
Scene makes sense. Yeah.
It's when you talk about just dumb, mindless '90s action movies. I really don't think it gets better than Face Off. And in that run, The Rock, Face Off,
Yeah.
Gone into all of that. I really believe that it would go Face Off, The Rock, Con Air, Gone in 60 Seconds, and then whatever the last one, whatever those ones are.
Yeah.
But Face Off is just that movie is so good, man. I love that movie
Because
so much.
you're right and wrong at the same time. Because you're right, it is great, mindless fun. But it's also, if you pay attention, there's like a lot of actual like themes and elements to it that makes it a good, dare I say, film, not movie.
Yes.
But no, but you're
That's
right.
a bold statement. It's a bold statement.
But you're right though. It hits both notes because it has a lot of deep elements to it. But at the same time, it's just a fun fucking movie to watch where you don't have to think about anything. It's just John Travolting, Nick Cage and Caging, and a bunch of people in between.
I just saw a tweet from Martin Scorsese. He said Face Off is not cinema.
Oh,
not film.
okay.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, but
Right.
And one thing
We should ask Ridley Scott then.
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
he
there you
thinks
go.
about it, and then
because but if you do look at the reviews, granted it's not like an Oscar winner or anything, but if you look at like reviews, it's highly praised across the board for the acting, the action, like everything about it. It's good.
yeah.
And then some fun trivia that I was telling you about yesterday, which I had a rock hard boner for this movie. So this movie inspired the movie in Japan, Infernal Affairs.
internal.
I think it was Infernal. I was like,
Might have been
either way,
Infernal. Okay.
Japanese movie about mixed identities and stuff, but they didn't want to go the kind of this route of unrealistic things. They had two guys swap identities. That movie or series of movies was the ones that inspired The Departed, which is my number one.
Yeah.
But that was my number one. That's my favorite film of all time. And so I just figured out this week that Face Off inspired Internal Affairs, which inspired The Departed. And I was like,
I did not know that Face Off was the catalyst for. I knew about Internal Affairs and The Departed. Like,
Same.
I knew that those two were basically. The Departed is basically a American remake of Internal Affairs, essentially. But I had no idea that Face Off is the reason we got Internal Affairs. Which is fantastic, by the way. If you haven't seen Internal Affairs,
I've seen it, yeah.
If you love The Departed, you absolutely have to watch Internal Affairs. It is so good. There's a lot of differences, but damn, is it a good movie.
So is it like, instead of like the Irish mob, is it like the Yakuza? They're trying to infiltrate the Yakuza?
Yeah, it's the Yakuza. There's a little bit more like the connections to everybody is a little bit more personal.
And it's a series of movies too. It's not just
one. But that first one, man, I would highly recommend watching it. It's really good.
But that's kind of like you said. I just reading about Face Off, and then that came up, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like these are two top 10 movies in my head, and like possibly both top 5, and they kind of indirectly. They caused each other. I thought that was, like I said, rock hard boner over that movie.
Yeah, no,
that Face Off top 5 movie indirectly inspired my number 1 favorite movie. I was like, fuck
that's worth having a boner for.
Oh, yeah.
I will. Yeah.
And I got into an argument with somebody that they should remake Face Off with the original cast. Just remake it shot for shot.
Oh God!
Because apparently they are remaking it. I don't want to say something wrong. Apparently they're remaking it, or it's kind of like a spiritual sequel. And I was kind of like, why?
It's about his adopted son.
Sequel.
Yeah, I hate that.
Announced in September 2019, plans to remake Face Off with a new cast. Blah, 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 blah. It was reported that this person, Adam Wingard, would direct, and the film would be a direct sequel to the original. I'm just like, how?
Yeah.
How? Is it going to be his son?
It has to be, right?
And then he just
or his
fights
daughter?
Or he just fights some new terrorist?
Yeah. Or they switch faces.
Castor Troy has a bastard son somewhere that's pissed off.
He does.
Well, but I still, after like 20 years, I still quote this movie all the fucking time.
I do too. I love
this movie.
One of my favorite lines of all time is "No more drugs for that man."
Yes.
That line is just God. The timing and just the line is so beautifully delivered. It's so good.
And that guy who plays I forgot his character's name, but that guy is like in nothing else.
Nothing else.
I know.
He's so good.
I don't understand. He's so good in this. Like he literally matches Nick Cage beat for beat in this one scene, and then he just disappeared. Just never acted again. It was like, bro, you got it.
He crushed it. I feel like he's one of those guys who like did it as a favor, and everyone's like, "Dude, you're amazing." Yeah, but I'd rather do my plumbing or whatever.
It's like, yeah, we need a bald guy. I know a bald guy.
Like he just walked on set. He was someone's friends. Everyone's like, "Dude, you're crushing it." He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to be an actor though."
Or he's like, or maybe he's just like, you know what? I nailed it here.
Go off on a high note.
I'm done. That's the best I'm ever gonna do.
In that movie, there are two scenes that are my all-time favorites, and one of them is that scene from start to finish. Like the minute he starts taking drugs and starts explaining what he wants to do, and he's all drugged out. That whole everything about that scene is just bonkers, and I love it so much. I love that one, and I love the first time Nick Cage and John Travolta meet after their face swap when he goes to visit him in prison. That scene is just because John Travolta is like, that's the most Nick Cage he is throughout this entire movie. Like,
you good looking.
So good. And then you just see Nick Cage trying so hard to be John Travolta, to like internalize himself and calm himself down, but also freak out in the way that Sean Archer would. And it is just, that scene is amazing.
That is a great
so
scene.
Good.
It's very quotable too.
Yeah, just that whole like, I have a lonely wife to fuck.
Like,
make love too.
I got a government job to abuse and a lonely wife to fuck. Oh, make love too.
Just that twist of the dagger right there. Fucking love it.
The next 300 years. That scene alone is just fucking quotable. I thought you were gonna say the scene at the drug house where he's just flipping out on the drugs and he's like, I'm me, and then Gina Gershon walks in. What? Like I thought you were dead. I'm not dead. I'm me. She fucking knocks him out.
And even just the way he's like, I'm gonna take his face off. So good. Oh, I love it. Those are my two. I know there's like tons of great action sequences and all that kind of stuff, but like those two scenes for me are just masterclass creativity and acting. They're amazing.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
And it is, as an actor, it would be fun to do that because like you have to play your character, but then for half the movie you have to play that guy's character. So you have to work together and do it, and it was very interesting. But that we could sit here for another hour just quoting
and talking about. This movie,
for sure. I'll do the movie from start to finish. Let's go.
Like even one scene that I really enjoy, I mean all of it, but like the Mexican standoff in the church.
Oh, so good.
He just walks in like, isn't this religious? And just like the whole thing when Sasha comes in and she's like, here you go, baby. And he's like, Sasha, baby. I'm Troy, that's Archer. Like, and I'm bored.
Now it's time to find out what Daddy's got in his bag. Peaches.
Even in that scene, even as a kid, I was like, that poor wife who's just like sitting there
I
know. Everyone's sitting there badass, and she's like, oh my God. I think she hits the guy with the chair.
And the daughter runs in randomly.
No, that is probably in my top 10 quotes at the end of the movie, or at the end of everything. She's like, Dad, I'm sorry I shot you. It's like, all right, cool. Glad you have remorse.
Yeah, that is a fantastic pick, man. That's a solid.
I think no matter which way we went about it, Face Off was going to be somebody's.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just remember
the only reason. I was going to say the only reason I didn't put it on my list was specifically because I knew that it was going to be on yours.
I think,
and it was going to be high on yours. I was like, well, I know we can overlap a little bit, but I'll dig into the weird movies.
I think
let him have the.
I think even in our chat, I was like, just give me Face Off. I think I just said that to you. Like, give me Face Off. But yeah, that's good, and I think we could wrap it up there, and hopefully this
Danny,
movie
did
comes
you
out.
do your number one?
Yeah.
Or was your...
Mine was
Wicker Man. Wicker Man was your number one.
And then, I was going to mention, I think I mentioned before we started recording, had we done this a year from now, or 2 years from now, one of us would probably pick Renfield, because Nick Cage is going to be playing Dracula.
Sure.
Dracula. Yeah.
I mean,
for sure. And I can already tell Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is going to be on this list. Like, it's gonna knock
because
off
it's about Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
Yeah. No, And I've heard a lot of really good things. Everybody that's out at South by Southwest have had nothing but great things to say about it. It is everything we've ever wanted, where it just fully embraces all the wonderful things we've just talked about when it comes to Nick Cage. And sign me up. Let's go.
And
I can't wait.
That's the thing about him, because he does shit like this, but then he does stuff that like is just so off the radar, like Pig, like
dude. Pig.
Why does this make sense as a good movie? Like
it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. But it's a fucking banger.
Yeah, no, Pig is amazing. If I had a magic wand and I could add him to the best actor list for this year, 100% would do it. Mm-hmm. His performance in that movie is that good, and it's such a massive departure from everything we just talked about. Like, none of that is there. Like, and you just kind of sit back and you're like, oh shit, like you can really act. Like, you can turn that shit down and just be a normal person.
You're Nicholas. You're Nicholas now.
You're Nicholas. Yes, that is a Nicolas Cage movie. Yes.
And then I wanted to throw out an honorable mention, because I was close to throwing this on my list just for the one scene, Grindhouse, Fu Manchu.
Yes. Yes.
I almost put Grindhouse on my list just for that 3 seconds.
Yeah.
What's he saying? This is my Mecca or something.
I don't think I've seen that.
Grindhouse.
Which
Tarantino and
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
yeah.
It was one of the.
was it Planet Terror?
No, it was one of the fake trailers.
Oh.
And it's literally, I forgot which trailer it's in.
So I never saw it in theaters. I've only seen the movies independently.
Oh, so it's in one of the fake trailers. I forgot which trailer it's in, but and they're like, and Fu Manchu, and it's just Nick Cage turns around with this fucking Fu Manchu stash, and I think Derek is like, "This is my Mecca" or something. He just yells it.
It's so blink and you miss it, but it is absolutely worthy. It's one of those ones where you're like, guys, if you're gonna make Machete, just make all of them. Just make all the movies in these trailers, because I'm down. Like, you already gave us Hobo with a Shotgun. Give us whatever this Grindhouse movie is. Like, make it happen.
Yeah, but it's literally 3 seconds. They say, and Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu, and he literally turns around. This is my Mecca, and then cut away to the next thing. Like, it's
because I want to say him and Tarantino haven't really done anything, right? I'm trying to remember the catalog of Tarantino movies, and Cage isn't in any of them.
No,
except for that little snippet from Fu Manchu.
No, yeah, I think
I
Rodriguez
don't know
maybe,
that,
but
yeah, I don't know that Tarantino, as much as that sounds like a lot of fun, I don't know that, because Tarantino has a knack for transforming actors to deliver different performances than they normally do.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he can. I don't want to doubt Tarantino.
I see what you're saying,
but I don't know that I even want that for Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Tarantino would have to drown out everything we just talked about in ways that just don't work. Like, it works in Pig because Pig is just such a different type of film. I don't know that he can exist in that universe. Maybe I'm selling Tarantino short a little bit.
No, I see. I think Tarantino would have to write a part specifically.
Yeah, no, he
for
would.
that type of character.
Right.
Yeah,
he couldn't just throw him in there in one of his parts. Like, oh hey, yeah, you come play this, and then Nick Cage will just do his own thing.
I guess maybe in one of his large ensemble pieces where he's just part of a random snippet, almost like I personally, now that I'm thinking about it, if we just remake Pulp Fiction, take out Tarantino and put Nick Cage in that role.
Oh.
There we go.
Damn, Jimmy, that's some good coffee.
Thank you, Jules. I got the good coffee. I thought you were gonna say, I don't know where my brain went there. If he was the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards.
Yes, I want it.
That's where I thought you were going with it.
Teddy frickin' Williams.
Knocks it out of the park.
You just hear the bat clicking in the cage, and he just walks out. It's fucking Nick Cage.
Oh,
yes, please. Okay, you know what? Now I want it.
Now we have to.
No,
We've gone full circle, guys. Bring Nick Cage on to the next Tarantino project.
Just so I can see him go, Margaretti.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please.
You got 3 seconds. You got to kill that guy. You gonna kill that guy?
Can you imagine Nick Cage in a burning theater, just with an AK, just shooting Nazis with that Cage face? Are you
that face
kidding?
over your
face
shoulder.
right
His face
Yes!
right here, shooting Nazis in a theater. Oh my God! Please make this happen.
Inglourious Bastards 2 has got to happen.
Yeah, no, it's got to.
Inglourious Bastards 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh, that's the next episode. What part should Cage replace?
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. God, we'd be here for another fucking 3 hours. Derek, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have anything?
Fun,
do you have anything going on?
Man, just keep checking back for Nerdbot. I review everything. Like, I don't even know how I'm able to do it, but I review so many things, so just check it out. I'll always go there. Always share it on my on any of my social media. So just follow me on social media at DRock Comedy, DROK Comedy. Be sure to check out the Jack of All Nerds. We have tons of stuff on there. We have our regular show. We have Cineblokes. We have The Rookery, which is coming back, where we do review episodes of Gargoyles. So we're going to be starting season 2.
Nice.
We're going to have a new show of Crossing the Streams, where we all just kind of recap the stuff that we've watched throughout the month, and then one of us has to find the worst possible thing that you can watch on any one of the streaming services and then assign it to someone, so that every week we don't do it every week, but every month we have to watch some horrible thing that one of us has assigned to the other. So
beautiful.
That's coming down. So tons of stuff, guys.
Nice. Be sure to check that out. Danny, you got anything before we get out?
Not a thing.
All right, cool. Thank you everyone for listening or watching. Thank you again, Derek, for coming out, and we'll see you next time. Bye. The sign off's always the worst.
Yeah,